Well, good afternoon and welcome to Virtual Happy Hour here on Facebook Live, wherever you're watching and enjoying and kicking it. Turned out to be actually a decent day here. A little late, got a little work to do actually to play catch up, but I've been a busy one. But it was crappy this morning. We got our workout in, our little walk in, dog walk and walks in, and the skies opened up. We were supposed to get some really rough weather. We thought we'd get hail and tornadoes and all that, but turned out to be okay this afternoon. So we actually got to originally thought this morning I'd be in the kitchen, but instead we're out in the patio. So that's all good. So glad everybody's along here. And it's Ryan out there. I'm going to go to Mom here in a second. My wife will be joining us as well. We actually kind of stole some ideas and we'll be working on them from some celebrity couple of some sorts that she knows about. I don't know the whole story, but apparently it's like Real Housewives person of some sort. I don't know. No idea. But anyway, all good. What else is going on? Let's see. Let's pull the open sign down. We are open, so let's pull the open sign down. Actually, pull the happy hour sign down first. There we go. And we'll leave the open sign up for a moment. Of course, you want to join the green room and join me live. There it is right there. We're going to go to the green room in a moment and bring in our first individual. There's Brother Mark Younger as well. As let's go to the virtual green room. Kevin will be joining. We're going to start off, though, as we have been the last couple of times on this show. We start off with Mom, who is in Indiana. She's an hour ahead, so it's actually the 6 o'clock hour there. And there comes my wife out right now. At 6 o'clock hour there. And Mom, can you hear me? Over.
Yes, can you hear me? Over.
Yeah. What are you doing? Or should I, wait, hold on.
What does it look like I'm doing? The thing I do the
best. I'm going to ask that question.
I'm a wine taster.
Are you you're enjoying?
I'm a wine taster.
You're wine tasting.
For myself.
Yes, you are a wine taster, Mom. You are. Mom, in Indiana, what vintage is that flavor? I want to say flavor. It's not right. What vintage is that, Mom?
This is a California Rosa de Oro Syrah. Syraa. Huh. It was something
so it's not a.
Something your sister gave me many moons ago, and I've been raiding the basement cellar, wine cellar, and so my notation said that she gave it to me. So there you go. And I got really brave today, and went to my wine club building and picked up my 6 bottles of wine. So now I don't have to go to the basement to rob my stash.
So did you go get you a Le Chateau de Box?
No, I do not drink at the box. I drink out of a glass.
Chateau de Box? La Maison de Box is the house box. That'd be my brand of wine. It'd be made out of grapefruit.
Exactly.
La Maison de Box or something like that. Or actually, raspberry would be pretty good.
Raspberry.
Yeah, raspberry. Wouldn't raspberry make good wine or not?
Well, probably so, but it's not. Couldn't be labeled as wine.
Because don't they make watermelon wine like Boone's Farm or something? Or
something like that on Schitt's Creek.
That whatever. And
there's something like that. Yeah, the TV show Schitt's Creek, the Canadian show that we watched. There was some kind
Boone's Farm.
Well, it wasn't Boone's Farm. It was some kind of fruit wine. I mean, I thought you could make wine out of it.
I mean,
can't you make wine out of anything?
Well, you probably could.
I mean, grapes obviously are the main player, but you could do watermelon, grapefruit. I guess you could do kiwi fruit. I mean, I guess.
Well, why not?
Raspberry. I'm thinking raspberry would be pretty good. I don't think there's a song called Strawberry Wine.
Wine, yeah.
Old country song.
I remember that. That was probably in my day, back in the dark ages. Yeah.
And, no, this was actually during the what they used to call vinyl, Mom.
Oh,
wax vinyl.
Well, you know what?
Records.
Vinyl is coming back, so I probably have a basement full of treasures.
Mark is saying hi to you, Mom.
Mark.
Beatty. Says hi.
Mark
Beatty.
What's he doing on there?
I don't know. He's saying hi to you because you're like the first guest always, or at least lately, the last couple shows.
Well, you should be so happy that I can get on. Hi, Mark.
Yeah, how about that? Let's see you.
Yeah, Yeah, send money.
That's jeez. Great, good
Well,
gracious. Let's see what else we got
well,
here.
I
Just kind of like catching up here. Well, hold on just a second, Mom. You can just take a break here. I've had a, let's see, we got, what's somebody drinking today? I'm trying some of that ice red white and berry. I must say I'm impressed. Yes, pretty good stuff there. Let's see what Ryan's got today. I was doing Arnold Palmer earlier. And then Shutterbach ice cold, wait for the wind to die down to fertilize after my, yeah, you can have the fertilize after my show. There you go. It's the West Texas wind, Ryan. It must be blowing. The winds are blowing. Let's see.
well, it's raining in Elkhart.
Annie says, so Annie says hi, and we're gonna have Gay Marie on in a minute, so she want to say hi to her former nanny. Let's see, sangria, and then everybody. I mean, whatever. You don't have to be a wino or a beer connoisseur. You could actually have water or Arnold Palmer or it's Caroline's case. She likes those virgin rum and coke, diet cokes, whatever, virgin rum and cokes. I mean, so it's all good. But yeah, so Mom, all good. Everything. Your day. I had to put our day up. Either I put the day up. I didn't do that. So I had the T-Bone show this morning. So we're days in quarantine.
Well,
I got to change it now. We are a day. It was Monday was 30, so we are at
we're about
32. There we go.
Here. We're probably about
Yeah.
37 here. And
So,
you're going to be proud of me. I was up at 6 and I conducted a Zoom meeting of the Council on Aging at 7:30, and I survived. And I'm
that
still
sounds like a
awake.
group. That sounds like the Council of Aging is a group that's not very up on Zoom, much less the internet.
Oh,
But I'm just saying.
well, it took about 3 weeks to get us up to speed. Sherman Hanson, whom you know, he was the
Yes.
last one to go.
Let's see. Ryan says they'll run tractors till 11 or 12 tonight. Take advantage of the cool weather and low winds at the time. Yeah. So once the sun goes down to the west, and it's funny, Mom and Ryan are all, you guys are West Texas folks. I was actually doing a little research this afternoon for a project over in Australia, in Western Australia, and the more I was reading about, it just happened to come up. First thing was mining, and I was reading about ranching and farming in Western Australia, and some of the wording that they use was, and the names they use were very much what you hear in West Texas, and a lot of people probably don't know what those words were, but I mean, a stockman is what they used, and you don't hear that word unless you're in the ranching business usually, and in most parts of the U.S. It's not a word you hear much. I mean, I don't hear that word in Kansas. I'm sure it's there, but stockman was always something I've heard. There was even a magazine, wasn't Farmer Stockman?
Yeah,
Isn't that a magazine, Mom, or what?
There was also a little blue metal signs, kind of like license plates. It was I forgot the name of it. It was the Association of Farmer Stockmen.
The Texas Association of right. They're on the fence post.
Maybe Mark might know.
And it was interesting because we're trying to come up with names for a possible baseball team in Western Australia. We're trying to Western themes, and it's funny because Western Australia is very similar, except for the beaches. There's one place they've got Texas beat. Texas, no matter how nice Padre is, Western Australia blows that Texas away in beaches. But as far as hill country and plains and farmland and kind of the outback, it's very similar. And some of the similar cultures is very farming and ranching and mining and oil and gas, but still mining the earth. But it's interesting just doing research today. I realized I felt like I was reading a bit about Texas. It was kind of interesting. So anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there. Let's see here.
Well, is there somebody else waiting
What's
to get
that?
the green room? Because I can get
Not
off.
yet. Hold on. I have a couple. Yes, there is a lot of some land management practices in West Texas and Australia, particularly the dry land region is very similar. I had a conversation, Ryan, with a guy at the airport in Perth, oh gosh, maybe a year ago, and we talked for about an hour on that very topic. And he was an Australian, but who was very familiar with our land, our land in West Texas. It was very familiar with the land in Texas, and does a lot of back and forth. And there's actually some towns, and I should pull those pictures up. I'll try to bring those on Friday or Monday. But I actually did a drive, and Mom, you know the story, I think. One day, actually, was the day of WD-40 when Gay Marie flew back to the States. I was kind of, I was obviously sad she was leaving. And I was, down and out that she had and I didn't want to go back in the apartment and just kind of where, I thought, well, I'll go out and explore. So that day I started driving to the east up there's a, Darling Range, they call it, this little range. It looks a little bit like the Cap Rock there around Post. And I went up that and went over it and went out the farmlands. And it was funny because there were John Deere dealerships and there were these different these little towns. And if you didn't know better, although except you were on the wrong side of the road, you were in these small towns in Texas. It looked very much like a small West Texas town.
It's not the wrong side of the road.
Well, it is the wrong. It's the wrong side of the road for Australia. Whatever. I don't know. My wife chimes in, but yeah, very interesting.
She was the only one that could drive us in Australia. I can tell you for sure.
Easy, Mom. I'm a very good driver.
No, I'm
a very good driver in Australia. Okay.
You were busy, yeah, and
okay.
I never will forget the first time she approached a roundabout.
the roundabouts get you. It's like the scene from European Vacation, Big Ben Parliament. We know Big Ben Parliament. Yeah. I mean, you get stuck in the roundabout there in Britain. So yeah, it's definitely something to dodge. But so what's for dinner tonight, Mom? Did you order from a local Elkhart, Indiana establishment or?
Yes, Sports Time, my trivia place. Wings and waffle fries. Yes.
Ryan says because many Australians or Texans that don't have a boat. Yes, I would agree with that. And even I'm going to take it one more step further. I've been to the airport there in Perth, and even Adelaide too, but in Perth especially. I guess to a degree in the other part of the country, but in Queensland, but especially there in Western Australia, you'll see folks in cowboy hats, and the Australians have a bit of a little different hat they wear, but some of them do wear more Western style what we wear in Texas, and you would not know the difference between you thought you were in the airport terminal in Midland than you were in Perth. So I mean, it's very, very common to see that out there. But so you're gonna have wings tonight, Mom. We're gonna make wings later on this week. By the way, there'll be a cooking video on tonight on the Facebook channel for the T-Bones. You want to learn how to make chicken? So
today
it's supposed to be on tonight. I think
today, but
Morgan. I think she wants it on it in the evening, and we're supposed to do it on Sunday. And our internet's been wonky here, and so I sent it on Saturday. It didn't go. It just sat in my outbox for 24 hours. She didn't get it till Sunday night late, so she moved it to Wednesday when they had no content. So, so that's what we're doing. So all good, all good there, Mom. So
I was out free today. I went to get my wine club way over on 17. I took the long way around and went to Martin's and picked up my to-go groceries. I was out and about, and I go all the neighborhood streets. I don't come straight home because I mean, you don't get out. So there you go.
What do you try to dodge the hoodlums or something, Mom, or the real the? I mean,
no. Well, I don't get out of my car.
Did you hear? I don't know
that car.
I meant to tell you this before I let you go. Luke, who worked for me last summer, Luke Schrock, he was talking about how much he was hoping, he wished that they would deliver some of those because where my mom lives, just south of there is this Amish. It's all Amish area, not all Amish, but I would say half the area is Amish, Mom. 75% of it is south there, Napanee and all that.
Yeah.
Certain areas are Amish, and they have some really good food. There was a couple. He was hoping for some real down home Amish deliveries. So I get, are the Amish delivering takeout as well? Are they? Are they clip-clopping into Elkhart?
I don't know. I should. The Amish Acres is sold, and they developed something else. But down in Middlebury, the whatever the name of that is, I'm assuming they're doing carry out. I mean, you can't come into the restaurants, but every restaurant's been doing carry out. So I'm assuming they are too.
All right. Well, that's Mom Cam right there. I didn't put Mom Cam's logo up, did I? I guess I should do that. Mom Cam right there.
No,
so Mom Cam. So you enjoy the rest of your evening, Mom. We love you, and we're glad you were here.
Well, I'm getting this Be Live, Zoom, conference calls. I'm getting this all down. To be almost 80, I think I'm doing pretty good. So thanks for humoring me.
There you go. Love you, Mom.
Don't tell
All
me
right.
bad stories. Bye.
Okay, we will. Love you. Bye, Bob. That's Mom right there. From Indiana, live from Elkhart, Indiana. Okay, my wife's going to come on in a moment. We're going to try a little something as well, but I want to, first off, catch up here and see who all's out there. We've got, I mentioned Mark was out there, Chris Peavy, Brother Peavy, others. Let's see along here, just kind of checking in here. Okay, I mentioned we did, and I'm going to bring my wife in a moment. We're going to have a little chat about some other stuff, but we did start the Michael Jordan thing. And I think I told you guys on Monday that I thought it was and then for some reason I thought it was every night this week. It's actually every Sunday for the next how many weeks is it going to be? We did get the first third of it in, but we had a little problem with, I think what we were doing, and it may have been on internet as well, but we were recording it as we were watching it, and it kept buffering, so I only got a third of the way through it. But I promised you I would tell my Michael Jordan saga from 1994. Now, in 1994, Michael Jordan, of course, went to work for the Chicago White Sox as a minor league baseball player. Of course, Jerry Reinsdorf owned the White Sox, and Jordan went to spring training with him and wound up making the Double-A club. The first little tidbit was when it was announced on ESPN that Jordan was going to Double-A Birmingham, which was in our league. Our phone, well, back in those days, we didn't have internet sales per se. We didn't have the internet sales that you have now. Now you've got all kinds of internet sales and what have you. We didn't have that back then. So our phone machine, the little old school answering machine, the old tape, had run its course. And it had run all the way out of tape, and it was just beeping and flickering. We walked to the office the next morning with the whole ticket sale deal, but we sold out of tickets for the 4 games he was going to be there and in the first series. Anyway, long and the short of it was we went to Birmingham, I want to say late July-ish, around the 20th or so, something like that, in the old Hoover Met. And it was at that time, Hoover Met was a really one of the nicest ballparks of the minor leagues. And Jordan was hitting right around 200. I mean, he was back and forth, 215 down to 200. He would drop to 198, then back to 210, have a 4 for 5 night, and jump back to 215. I mean, he was really all around the place, so around 200, right? Well, we were playing the Birmingham Barons, and here's this Michael Jordan up there, and Jordan had, it started to. He was a little bit of a little talky. He was known at the time, and this kind of comes from his NBA time. Somebody's got their volume up. I don't know who that is. Is that you, babe? Somebody's got their volume up. I've got a little replay. But Jordan, I'm hearing it. I'll just pull this down here real quick so I can tell the story because I'm bringing my wife in. But Jordan was he and the White Sox at that time, the Double-A team, talked a lot of crap, right? They did a lot of shouting in the dugout, a lot of a lot of old school Bull Durham stuff, a lot of old school chatter back and forth. Hey, you're terrible. Well, George Samus was pitching for us at the time, and George, who now is the manager of the St. Paul Saints in the Independent American Association, he came rolling on the hill that day. And George had been in the big league. George was the only guy at the time of that roster. We had some guys come and go that year. That summer, Alex Rodriguez played for a short time at Double-A with us. But George had been in the big leagues and had made it the show and had been signed as a free agent, Triple-A free agent, and was sent to Double-A to kind of get in shape, perhaps so they could have some depth at Triple-A and the big league level. So Samus is with us, and I mentioned him on Monday because he was the only guy that had the cash for the big leagues to actually have videotapes of Seinfeld, which was a big deal. He actually had VHS tapes of Seinfeld, and so we thought it was kind of cool. We'd watch Seinfeld episodes on the team bus. Well, anyway, so there was a lot of chatter going on back and forth, and George tells this story much better than I do. But I was in the booth, and I couldn't quite make out the chatter because, again, Birmingham at the time, I think the ballpark sat about 7,000, and there was probably about 5,000 there. It was, I want to say, it was like a Thursday night. It was Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. We were there for a midweek series. Still very good crowds, even at that time. Well, anyway, so he steps up, and Jordan, of course, you couldn't miss the guy. 6'7", he stood out. Long, lanky guy walks the plate, And he had been talking such crap the entire ball game that Samus had enough. And so George, I don't, and I have to ask George just get a clarification. I don't remember if this was the first pitch or second pitch. That's where I get a little dicey in the story. But he hits me right there in the back of the 4-5. I mean, he ain't even close. I mean, it's not one of those. It wasn't brushback. Wasn't a brushback pitch. It wasn't thrown high over his head. It was thrown right square in the back of the 4 and the 5. It could not have been any more deliberate than. I mean, he was. If you're going to throw in the middle of the two numbers, that's about as good as you could have done. And same as, bam, hit him right in the back. And you can hear that. There's that certain sound that hitting the skin makes, especially in the back, of that plunk. Well, it hit him so flush. It was a plunk, and it had that almost like a hit the skin even. It just had this real slap plunk sound to it. I can't describe to this day how that sound still echoed in my headset. Well, anyway, so obviously that didn't make the Birmingham Barons very happy. The Jacksonville Suns were kind of like, meh, you know. And Jordan, kind of stepped out and kind of took a step down the first baseline and started jawing jawing back and forth. And Samus, and I'm going to kind of clean this up a bit, because Samus replied to him with some colorful language applied to him. Well, if you weren't hitting bleeping below 200, that I would have hit you right square in the 4-5. I probably hit you somewhere else, something along those lines, right? Very, very demonstrative. And Jordan, of course, by this time, the entire White Sox, the Barons are out there. And I don't remember off the top of my head what future stars they had. This Jacksonville team had Chris Widger as the catcher. Widger went on to play for the Orioles for a number of years, retired. I think he's actually coaching now in the minors somewhere, but he's a former big leaguer. It had Derek Lowe, who was former Red Sox World Series champ, was on that staff. I mentioned A-Rod. I believe A-Rod was already gone by then. I think this was after he had left to go to the big leagues that year. I'm trying to think who else was that club. Oh, gosh. There was Gary Cooper was a former Astro who played third base for that team. I'm just trying to remember. Ron Vallone, former Astro as well in Philly. He was on that club in reliever. Trying to think. Trevor Miller, former Tiger. Just kind of going through some of the names of the guys that were on that club. They were all still in Double-A. And the White Sox, I don't recall. But anyway, the point of the story was, as Samus says, bleepity bleep, if you were hitting above 200, I'd hit you somewhere else. And then he says, go take your bleepity bleep base. Well, that didn't set well to Jordan and his teammates. Well, Jordan waited until his teammates, of course, were all there. And then things got hot and heavy. Benches clearing, fines were assessed, suspensions were added. But yes, Michael Jordan, I watched him get plucked deliberately. I say deliberately because George never actually said that, but George plucking, and George now a good mate of mine in St. Paul, for the night that George Samus plucked Michael Jordan in 1994. So there we go. All right, wife, you're going to come over here. I'm going to pull the mic off for us. Actually, I'm going to leave it. Yeah, we can pull it down because I'm down. I can slide your chair over.
Which side do you want me?
Well, I'll just over here. We can fit you on there. Can you fit on there? We're going to bring Kaylin on as well.
Oh, yay! It's going to be a TCA party.
So we're going to bring her on as well. I hope she can hear us. So she's usually being counted down.
I've got my sangria.
Okay, well, actually, oh my gosh, the dog's going nuts.
And a bird.
She's frozen up. This internet is just so bad. We're going to bring her on in just a second here, so just bear with us as we are going to chat with her and chat with whoever else. Let me see if I can get this thing to. I don't know why it's not working. Mom, your mom's off. Let's get her off the screen there. Let's try it again and see if it'll work. I'm hearing her. Oh my goodness, I hate having to do this, but just bear with me just a moment. Why does this happen every time? This has become. Let's try it again now, Kaylin. I'm going to try to bring you in again. Let's try it again. Let's see if it'll work. And there we go. She's being counted down. There we go. Let's try it again. Sorry about that. So, you're going to have to move back. I'll move back. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yay.
So let me kind of move. There we go.
You're good. That way you see more of your Penn State shirt.
So what's going on in your lockdown world?
Not a lot. I actually got out of the house today for just a minute. I'm sitting without my collar. But it is right here. It's right here. But since I'm sitting still, I can sit without my collar. So
I saw today, and I don't know if my wife and I haven't even talked about this yet, but I saw today there was a picture posted. I think you posted it from 1985. A bunch of girls in these really fluffy dresses
with our fluffy hair,
with Becky's baby's hair,
which I kind of have right now because I have to wear my hair up on my head because of my collar. But yes. So we have I figured in honor of all the prom seniors that missed prom and posting senior pictures, I posted that one of all of us girls. But I can't. There's one of the boys who do what?
Emerson won't have prom. So were they not going?
Well, hold on. First off, let me give my wife a little help here. We have no idea who Emerson is.
Emerson is Nicholas's girlfriend.
Yes, and Nicholas is Kaylin's son. There you go. Because most of the public just tuned out when he went Emerson. They have no idea what you're talking. They could
have thought about the great transcendentalist, but no, I'm talking about the cheerleader from Capel.
She's so famous now. Yes. So there is no prom this year. So yes.
That's that. Yeah. So there'll be no, now that you're 25 or 30 years from now, there'll be no prom pictures. So.
Right.
Oh, well. Trust me. I'm not, I wish there was no high school pictures of me. That'd be even better.
Oh, he was cute.
Very cute. Still is. Y'all are both cute.
As are you.
So do you, are you wearing your mask and all that stuff?
Yes, I had to go. I did wear it today because with my immune system stuff, I have to be very careful. But yes, but I did. I needed to get out of the house today. It's been way too long. So
where did you go?
So I rode with him. He had a chiropractor appointment. So I rode with him to his chiropractor and then back home. So nothing, I wasn't exposed to anyone or anything, but it was just nice to get out and see people milling about and see the clouds other than in my backyard or out my front door.
We've done a couple of road trips, just in the neighborhood because we've been so bored.
Yeah.
We went all the way to White Rock Lake one weekend.
Woo! See, this was the first car ride other than I rode to Brahms with him one day, but it still hurts to ride in the car. So I have a little pillow, a roll pillow that I wear behind me. So I have to, that was the other thing. But
so when do you go back to the doctor?
The 30th.
Okay.
So then I get to find out if I get to lose this hard mask and then go to, or hard collar, and then go to hopefully no collar at all or a soft collar. But I did try and sleep last night a little bit without the collar on.
How did that go?
Yeah, it was kind of scary. It hurts. I hurt today, but I'm sure I will.
How long did they say you would hurt?
I don't know, because I don't have to do, because the problem is I lost all the muscle, and strength, and then I've been in this collar stuck like this forever. Yeah. So once I can start physical therapy, but with all the COVID stuff, I don't know when that's going to be. So
yeah.
Did you get any rain? You didn't get any rain this. Did you get rain this morning over there?
We did get a little bit of rain, but nothing major, and it's bright sunshiny now. So hopefully, I think we have an hour time frame for this dry front or whatever it is, dry line to pass. So what did y'all do?
When we start talking about the weather, does that mean that we're old?
I know.
We're old before we start talking about the weather.
Speak for yourself, dear.
I'm younger than you.
Yeah, but I play younger on TV.
I'm younger than the both of you.
I play younger on TV though.
You play younger on TV?
Yeah. I play that. I'm like that guy that is actually 30 but actually plays like 18 on TV. So.
Yeah.
The poor man's George Clooney.
He's dreaming.
Yeah. So y'all doing good?
Yeah, I guess she hasn't called the lawyer yet, so I guess that means something's all pretty good. I mean, that's always a threat.
At the end of the day, I give him a report card, and and I'm like, okay, you got a B+ today, so you get to stay around one more day.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes tomorrow.
Yeah, the school teacher at her just can't get away from that. She's got to grade me.
I could grade him on bed making.
F.
Ah,
Yeah, he's not so good at that. I mean, if he has to,
yeah.
he's okay. But
Yeah.
So what are y'all cooking tonight? Are y'all cooking anything out tonight?
no, we're not cooking out tonight. I'm going to do tacos here in a little bit.
We were a little concerned about the weather, so that's why we
Yeah.
didn't. But she did go on a run today. She did go to
I got
the
some steaks.
local Tom's Thumb, and she went and grabbed us some supplies. So we were actually
Awesome.
sort
There was
of.
toilet paper and paper towels,
Sweet.
and not just like crappy toilet paper. It was the Tom Thumb brand, but nonetheless, it was still like the big mega rolls that were
Right.
like either soft or strong. They're supposed to be the store brand version of the Charmin or whatever. So I was
Right.
kind of happy to see like big rolls instead of like the little rolls that
Right.
you've been able to buy.
Yeah.
They're sort of off brand. Although I'm thankful for whatever we can get.
Right.
But it was nice to see. And there was tons of Bounty, so it wasn't even like crap paper towels. There was like good paper towels.
The 2-ply.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good.
Yeah, well,
Section
I
off.
thought we were gonna get the point. I thought we were getting the point where I just go out in the backyard and be hosed down, but I guess not. I guess I'm okay now. The redneck bidet or whatever.
Bidet.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's good. Well, Nicholas
Yeah.
actually, I thought about you the other night because Nicholas actually grilled out steaks for us. I didn't have to grill. It's the first time I've never had to grill. And so he actually grilled and cooked the steaks for us, and he did an awesome job.
The steaks we had at your house that night were so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were really good at that.
Well, thank you.
We'll have to come over for steaks. When we're all said and done, we'll have to come over for steaks.
That's right.
So we'll have a better chance for steaks than baseball, I think. So
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't say that.
Well,
unfortunately,
I have a big crawfish thing this weekend. If you can pick up your
what's that?
the crawfish thing that I sent to Gay Marie, that reminded me of the night we went out with Joey and had all the crawfish.
Yes. It was
Well,
like
we met
it was
the
last
morning.
year, right before the season started. Went out and crawfish
Mhm.
before I went to Kansas City. It's
Mhm.
only one place I know of up there you can get crawfish at. Oops, there's a big spider on me. That's not good for business. I'm gonna get that off. We had big the Nate's out there in Addison. The
Yes.
the Turbo. Yes,
Yeah.
that's good
well,
stuff.
The Hop
Yeah,
and
good
Steam
stuff.
Brewery in Grapevine's doing the big crawfish boil with somebody, and you go and you can do
Yeah.
the curbside whatever.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
problem when I do a crawl, the last time I did one, it's been a few years ago, but Steve Mulkey, one of my fraternity brothers, and I did one, and we needed a kickstand to be propped up by the time we were ready to serve because the whole ritual takes a while. You gotta, it takes a while to clean them and get
They
everything
were
ready to go.
marinating while
Yeah.
the crawfish were
Yeah,
marinating.
we were marinating too, and we had a good time. Just that we needed some help to serve, etc. We're kind of like the you ever seen that movie Seems Like Old Times with Chevy Chase and Goldie Hawn? We're like Chet, the server who comes in and like passes out. Then Chevy's got to be the server. We were kind of like that,
That's
sort of
funny.
like that, but all good.
Yes.
But
Nicholas
well, I'm
is
glad
very sad.
you're okay. I'm glad you're doing better and you got the brace and all that good stuff.
Well,
like
thanks.
good
Well, good to see y'all. All
Yes,
Good
we
to
love you.
you.
I'm glad to see you.
right.
Great
Talk to
picture
y'all
today.
later.
See ya. There we go. Kaylin joining us there. We love the picture today. She was awesome. Yeah. And by the way, my wife, I don't know if she knows this, but they put a picture up
I saw it.
of it would have been, how to explain this.
It was a group shot of all the girls in our senior class at our junior senior banquet.
And back in those days, TCA had a junior senior banquet the school sponsored. There was a prom that the parents sponsored. Since that time, they've gone to a junior senior banquet, I believe, in the fall, and a prom in the spring. The school sponsors both. But
The moral collapse of
but that's-
America.
that was some 30 years ago. Of course, now they wear shorts to school and tennis shoes for their uniforms. We had to wear like slacks, and the girls wore like prairie skirts or something
We
like
didn't
that.
wear prairie skirts. They were plaid. It was
Good to
short
see
plaid.
Tammy out there. Dan Hart, Kansas City. Good to see Tammy. Checked in, said that they were our classmate. Tammy was in that picture, by the
Tammy
way.
was in the
By the way-
picture.
by the
I
way,
think I
Tam-
went.
Tammy didn't look a day different.
No, she doesn't.
Your hair was just darker.
My hair was darker.
I wish-
You
I
just
should-
threw me under the bus.
It was darker color. It was not like gray.
Well,
I'm
that
just saying.
implies that this is
No,
not all a natural.
Let me see if I can find it here, because your hair was darker as a youngster.
It was darker, and I was wearing all black. I looked like a little bit goth.
I'll have to, 80s goth. She was
I was not
she was
goth.
down at the Start Club. Do they know the Start Club would have been goth?
Yeah,
Would it have been goth?
No, it was just punk, kind of
Okay.
punkish. I did like that place.
And it's good to see Craig and Chris. Speaking of baseball, Chris Brown and Craig Alvarez, both baseball guys. Just talking to the guys in Australia last night, Craig, as well. Hope you're doing well, Albie. Brownie, you as well. Hope you're doing well. But we're just chatting here again. I told the Michael Jordan, George Samos story. We started watching that, and that was the homework assignment to watch that episode. I did get the first 15 minutes, but we didn't. It's interesting, but we hadn't got to the first episode because we had a buffering issue with our internet, and so I just didn't. Let me see if I can get these chats caught up here too. A buffering problem. What we got? Anyway, the chat's a little behind as well. But what are you guys doing? How you doing today? We are just. What did you do? You taught school today.
I did. I taught school and tutored, helped a kid with college essays.
And how do you do that online? How does that work out for you?
Zoom. Zoom, and we share the screen. And then if he does a Google Doc, we can both sort of look at the Google Doc together. But usually they just pull up their screen, and I just sort of say, use a better verb there, or you need to change those sentences, those kinds of things.
Cat's still cruising around.
Yeah,
both animals are out here enjoying.
That's because I have snacks. I brought snacks.
Oh, that's why it's out here. They dang near
Skinny Pop chips. He normally does the pretzels. So I thought I would try these because it's chips. Has anybody else ever had? They're not the Skinny Pop popcorn. It's Skinny Pop potato chips. You want to try them?
I guess. Probably tastes like air, like everything else that's good for you. Just give them a shot here. Oh.
They're pretty good. Not bad.
Well,
yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah, they're made with popcorn.
they're popcorn chips. Okay. All right.
They're perfect for dipping.
Let's see here. Jennifer says you want to write a paper for her. You want to write a
Jennifer
paper?
who? She goes, what kind of paper you got writing? How much you going to pay me? I'm kidding.
Mom said she had a hard time finding. Oh, there's the chat that's back up again. I don't know why was not working earlier, but
Jennifer, I have a paper to write too that's due in a couple of weeks. I have a presentation on Friday, which I started today, but I'm a little behind. But yeah, what are you working on, Jennifer?
Mom says she had a hard time finding you in the picture.
I'm in a black dress. I'm in the back row. I'm next to, I want to say Laura Prang. I don't remember.
Laura Prang.
Do you remember Laura Prang? She dated Phil Holden. You should know these things.
Boy, I looked at the picture today, and I got to tell you, there were a couple people that come 30-year anniversary or whatever we call it. What's it anniversary? What's it called? 30-year
reunion.
I got to tell you.
What? What is that supposed to mean?
I don't know who they are. I got to.
You don't know who they are?
No. Oh no.
That's
a
terrible.
couple I know are no longer. One or two I think were no longer with us. I did know that.
Yeah, that makes
I knew those people, but there were a couple I'm not really sure exactly who they were. Let's see the paper. I don't know why this. Again, this dodgy screen here. The paper it's conflict to go. Oh yeah. She can do that.
I'm married to him. I'm a pro.
Yeah, so she can do conflict negotiation. Yes. I don't know. I will tell you this. She does.
And I raised 2 daughters. That's intense conflict.
It's a master's class, so she's getting her master's. And you went to Dallas Baptist, right, Jennifer? I think you finished there. Am I right about that? I think that's correct. That sounds right. DBU, which is a very good school here.
They have a good baseball program.
Yes, they do. The lovely and talented wife. Actually, in the summer, and I told our interns this when I'm interviewing them, they're part of the routine is the game's over. We got to get the game story put online, blah, blah, blah. We got to proof it. And that proofing, when I say we, usually involves the English smarty pants right here. And she's able to proof. And
now I can tell the difference between the journalism departments of several schools, state schools nationwide, which ones actually pay attention to grammar and which ones don't.
You're saying some schools don't?
Some schools do not. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus.
KSU?
Yeah, Kansas State. But
Did I say
are.
that?
You know, some of your best writer. I mean, I'm going to just shout out to some of your interns who were rock stars if they ever happen to watch this. Claudia Close, Dayton was amazing. Lily was amazing. Luke Schrock, amazing.
Beeler.
Bridget Howard, also amazing. Sydney, great writer. Lots of them have been like really, really talented. So I remember those who I never had to edit, and I appreciated that.
Yes, they're the good thing is though is that I always could count on. And I would tell them on the road. They'd email the story. I said, "Don't email me. You send it to my wife because by the time our broadcast ends, let's say 10:15, and I go into the post game show, and it's 10:30."
Wow.
10:45, whatever, the time I'm wrapped up with I do a Facebook Live post, I do a live recap of the ball game. This is on the road, mind you. And I've also got a bus to catch. Not all the time, but like in certain cities, we take the bus back to the hotel. Some places, for example, in St. Paul, it's downtown, we walk back to the hotel or take an Uber or whatever, or sometimes stop at a pub on the way back to the hotel. It's all the ballpark's downtown in an urban setting, but there's some places, Sioux City, for example, where I've got to scramble because they want to get out of that ballpark as fast as they can and get back to the hotel. So oftentimes they're emailing me and I'm going, don't email me, go to my wife, because by the time I get back to the hotel, she's got it proofed or she sent it to me on my phone on the way. And I know that, it's done and I can post it online or whatever. Now this year will be a little different. There'll be a different protocol, but she'll still be proving it. I'll be sending it off to the folks that
doesn't take very long. Well, for some it took longer than others. Sometimes I had to rewrite.
Such as accounting and conflict resolution.
Accounting and conflict resolution. Wow. That sounds terminally boring for somebody who's an English major, but you know what? I'm glad you exist because if we didn't have people like you, what would we do?
No, we would do. I didn't have any topics, so I was actually working on a project today. First off, I had my T-Bone show today at noon, which was great. Great stuff today. If you follow the American Association, go to the Kansas City T-Bones page, Facebook page. Usually I don't brag about my show. Usually it was good, but it was very good. Josh Buchholz is the executive director of the American Association, provides some very interesting insight on this situation with baseball and what the minor leagues are going through, and really some interesting stuff there. Then also some insight.
Dylan Baker.
And then, get to that. And then Dylan Baker talked, and Dylan's a very fine young man from Alaska, Juneau, Alaska. And he lives in Reno, Nevada right now, but we talked a little bit about baseball in Alaska, about what he's doing, and really good stuff. We also opened up with a little bit of history. I didn't know this, and you guys may know this, but last week was Jackie Robinson Day on April 15th. That's always the day that no matter what day of the week it falls on, April 15th is the day to celebrate, and that was the day that Jackie Robinson joined the Brooklyn Dodgers. And 1946, is that right? Anyway, April 15th, and that's the day the big leaguers all wore 42, which number 42 has been retired throughout baseball. But Robinson is celebrated on that day in the big leagues by everybody wearing the number. Well, this year the big leagues aren't playing on April 15th, and it kind of, I don't say it slipped my mind, but I shot the show at noon that day, and I was looking at something else. I was more worried, missing the game and all that, and kind of lost in translation. So this morning when I got up, at a men's group Bible study at 7:30, and then at 7 o'clock, and after that, I jumped into some research, and I just, I know the Jackie Robinson story through and through, but the playing story, the whole movie 42 and all that, what I didn't understand, I didn't know what he did post playing career. The reason I thought about this, I saw a video this morning online on Facebook. Somebody posted of Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle throwing the first pitch out in 1985 on this date, and I thought, I knew what Mickey did post career, and then Roger Maris, what he did post career. I knew a little bit more about them, what they did post career. And Mickey Mantle was a guy we'd see some on TV here and there. Of course, Joe DiMaggio, he was Mr. Coffee back in the 70s. So you saw a few of these guys. And Jackie Robinson dying, I believe, 1972, I believe it was. And I don't have a memory of him playing or really being in the public eye. So I kind of I said, what did he do afterwards? And I didn't realize this, but basically the very day that they announced that the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1957, September 27th, 57.
What's that?
They're moving from Brooklyn to Los Angeles. That very day, he was offered a chance to go play for the Giants of New York. Of course, they were going to move to San Francisco, so he didn't want to go play there. He wanted to stay in New York. He either want to play baseball or that was it. He didn't want to go move West Coast. He was a New York guy by that time in his career. The other offer he had at that point was to go work for Chock full of Nuts. Chock full of Nuts was now the modern day Starbucks / Dunkin' Donuts. And Chock full of Nuts had 80 locations throughout Metro New York and the tri-state area there. And he went to work for them in their corporate office. And Chock full of Nuts, you may have seen the cans and some of the old jingles. And there was an old jingle they have. Anyway, he went and worked for them as an executive vice president. And he was their HR liaison, kind of that. The role would have been today executive VP and personnel probably. But he was a personnel vice president. His job was to fire up and keep people going and be a liaison to those workers out at all their stores who a lot of them, especially at that time, a lot of the ones in the tri-state area at those Chock full of Nuts locations were African-American. And it was a great move by that company to bridge that gap. He was always bridging the gap between the African-American, the social justice cause, really. That's what he was trying to do. And he was always a big part of that, but he was doing that through his work with Chock full of Nuts, which I thought was very interesting stuff that unless you really follow that Jackie Robinson story, and most of the time the movies and the documentaries stop playing days, showing with his wife and his kids and whatever, and then it's a great legend and it's highlights and then every other one like him, again, those kind of deals. He actually had a very fruitful career as a businessman and also working with the NAACP as a liaison too.
And if you want something fun to do later, if you're going to go to the T-Bones page and watch that, you can play a drinking game and take a drink every time he says Chock full of Nuts.
Why is that drinking game?
Because, you were talking about Chock full of Nuts so many times, and I was watching it going, this would be fun if everybody took a shot every time you said Chock full of Nuts. You'd be on the floor.
Some of those St. Paul Uber drivers can write a pretty neat blog. Am I missing that, Kevin? By the way, I saw you come on earlier and you disappeared on me. Where'd you go? I saw him come on and he disappeared. I don't know what that's.
Too bad he can't bring us some virtual green onion brats.
Yeah, we went brat shop. Well, she went shopping today.
I did get
and
brats.
She got the Johnsonvilles, but those are like.
I mean, they're good, but they're not.
They're in every corner.
They're not Kevin Luco green onion brat.
Well, but those are from Hy-Vee's and
I know
throughout the Midwest. So.
They're good.
All right, what else is going on? Everybody else okay? The reason I do this, because we're all in the same kind of boat. You're at day number 32. We're all going a bit stir crazy, and it's just a way to kind of pass an hour or so of time, and just to kind of all catch up from different walks of life, different people I know along the way, along this great journey. So what are you looking at your watch for?
Just because at some point I'm going to have to let the dog take a leak.
Oh, we haven't had dog cam today.
It's usually dog cam time.
Yeah, we haven't had dog cam time. But the reason we just do it, all this chat, just catch up, and sometimes it's earth-shattering stuff. Sometimes it's not. Most of the time it's just a bunch of people come kind of drive by and check it out and go about their way. But glad you guys do stop by and check in, and just hope everybody's doing well and staying socially distancing and all that good stuff. I don't know what you probably know a little bit more. I've watched the news all day, and it's watching national news, but it's always on the background of us. But slowly but surely, things are sort of getting better. But how was the trip to the grocery store today?
It was good. Like I said, there was toilet paper and there were paper towels, so we are getting better, at least in the hood here. And neighborhood.
Okay.
In our hood, the 75230, we are getting better. And there's plenty of everything.
Everything.
No, I mean, there's plenty of bread. There weren't many choices for hamburger buns, but I was able to buy the kind of bread I actually wanted and not the kind that I had to end up with. Our first trip to the store during this ridiculous quarantine, I ended up with a loaf of Wonder White bread. I can't even tell you the last time I had a bite of Wonder White bread. It must have been, I know when it was. It was probably when I was hanging out with Melinda in 7th grade, and her mom would make us these delicious white bread sandwiches with like Kraft cheese singles and Miracle Whip. And because my mother was such a health food fanatic, those three things were never in our house: Miracle Whip, processed cheese, or white bread. and they were delicious. And so we ate those, and we'd walk out and eat those sandwiches and eat Cheetos, things that I could not do at home.
Let's see here. Dishwasher soap. What is this?
Yeah, dishwasher soap. Everything was there. The only thing that wasn't there,
Kaylin
there's-
can't find dishwasher
there's
soap.
lots of dishwashing soap, and had I known, I would have grabbed some for you and brought it over, and maybe I will. But what was missing was like a bunch of like bathroom cleaner, like anything that had bleach in it that was like bathroom cleaner.
And stick to your teeth, she asked.
Did what stick to my teeth?
The
Oh yes,
Wonder-
it did. It absolutely did. Just like it's supposed to, I suppose. Sticks to the roof of your mouth too, and you eat that with peanut butter, and you're gonna choke because you can't swallow it.
Kevin's grilling out dill pickle brats along with cheese curd and sauerkraut brats for the wife and stepson, pork chops for him.
Can you say Minnesota or Minnesota?
That sounds about as
It sounds Minnesota.
that sounds about as Minnesota,
Minnesota. I'm sorry.
Wisconsin,
I'm sorry.
and Dakotas as you can get.
Yeah.
Maybe parts of Iowa. I mean, that is when I think of cheese curds. Of course, I think of that part of
Wisconsin
that
is what
part
I
of the
think
country.
of.
Yeah. So that sounds like a delicious.
It does sound good. I am a big cheese curd fan.
But we were talking about this a couple weeks ago, or maybe last week. There are a couple markets that do have more Texas versions of brats down here. One of them, there's like jalapeno brats, which are pretty
I had
awesome.
chicken
And of course,
ones.
and we've had jalapeno
ones.
sausage at a couple barbecue joints as well. So that's all good stuff. Well, I'm also very thirsty too.
Oh, do I need to get you another beer?
That's kind of what your job is in
Okay.
the show.
I'll be back.
Okay. All right. What are you guys doing? How y'all doing? Let me know. We're going to go in just a few more minutes here. Everybody checking in, and let's just see if we've got. I want to show you guys too this little piece of work that was done about my dear friend Morgan Kalinda. She works at the Kansas City T-Bones. A little fun TikTok video. I'm not saying I'm a huge TikTok fan necessarily, but this was the video she put together. I want to show you guys this. This was something we played today on the T-Bones channel. Maybe you'll see, recognize a few familiar faces here when I do this. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up for you. Pull me down and pull it up. And
In the summertime, when the weather is high, you can stretch right up and touch the sky. When the weather's right, you got women on your mind. Have a drink, have a drive, go out and see what you can find. If your daddy's rich, take her out for a meal. If your daddy's poor, just do what you feel. Speed along the lane to a town, no return to 25. When the sun goes down, you can make it good and live on. We're not great people, we're not daddy, we're not me. We love everybody, but we do what you please. When the weather's fine, we go fishing or go sailing in the sea. We're always happy, lots of living here, that's our philosophy. Sing along with us, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, da-dee-da-da-da, yeah, we're happy.
And that was the TikTok video of the T-Bones. My friend Morgan did a great job with that. A few of y'all may have recognized a few of those, especially Kaylin will probably recognize a few of those folks there, but that was on the T-Bones channel earlier today. Move my chair back here. There we go. The T-Bones channel earlier today. Sorry about the blank screen there. I pressed play, but a little wonky there. But virtual happy hour, glad you're along wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening. Kevin's cooking it up the Twin Cities. Kaylin's enjoying things down here. Let's see, just kind of going through today. We've got Lubbock, Indiana. Looks like I've got Florida, Dallas, Kansas City, KC, Florida, more KC, Metroplex. Oh wait, John C. I forgot we didn't chance to have Gay Marie tell you hello. I didn't get a chance to do that. Weatherford, all points in between. So we're glad you guys are along today. Again, I want to tell you one more Michael Jordan story. As we roll along here in this virtual happy hour. I mentioned the HBO, or not HBO, it's ESPN, this whole Michael Jordan Last Dance thing. That video, of course, we talked about this on Monday. It sat in a vault for, 17, 18 years. And it was pitched a couple of times at year 11, year 12. And at no point could they get Jordan to really sign off on it, because he actually had, when they went behind the scenes in 1996, 97, I guess it was 97, 96, 97. Is that right? He had the final say. He had the film crew had all access, and there was two things. A, if Phil Jackson thought enough was enough, he just kind of put his hand up and they would go away. Number two is Michael Jordan had full say of when that was going to be aired and what would be aired. And so for the longest time, it sat in a vault in Secaucus, New Jersey. And NBA Films had finally he's gotten around to getting it out, very virtue of some businessmen who knew somebody and somebody else knew Michael, and they set meeting up and all that. So that's kind of the background story on this thing. It's been in the works for a number of years. And what I love about it, and it's funny because in that video, in that whole deal, I had 3 personal encounters at various points from 1994 until 2003-ish, no, 2005-ish, with both Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman, and also Scottie Pippen in various places in my life. And they're all 3 different stops in my journey that I had encounters with them. And it's funny, I'm watching that going, you know, I remember, I mean, I can tell you that I watched, I remember Dennis Rodman talking about. Granted, Dennis Rodman was my father, of all things. You know, if you knew my dad, who passed back at 16, you know he was a pretty personal guy, and he and Rodman had a nice little conversation. It was pretty funny. And then Jordan, of course, the '94 season, just going in the clubhouse there when they were playing the Jacksonville Suns, and then I ran into Scottie Pippen when I was in my radio station days in Dallas, and he was in covering the TNT Mavericks playoff run one year. I guess it would have been 2000, and I want to say it might have been the 7th season. It was either 6 or 7. It was 7th season they went to the finals and lost to the Heat. I think that's when it was. The first time they lost to the Heat, they beat them the second time in 11. Is that right? I think that's if I know my Mavericks history, but that those 3 times. But anyway, the Michael Jordan story is this: in '94, as I told you about the ticket machine going. Well, it was no machine back in those days. You called the ticket office and you bought tickets over the phone the old-fashioned way. They get the credit card machine out and they'd fill the little sheet out and put your number in there and and all that. That's how it was done old school way. Well, there was no internet, StubHub and all that kind of deal. It was all very old school, but we ran out of message tape. We had so many messages for people trying to buy tickets to see Jordan play the Jacksonville Suns. Well, anyway, fast forward to that season. And I remember the first day they were in town, I walked in. Let's see where the cat went. But I walked to the clubhouse, and one of the, this has not really changed. It's still kind of my job. I do this in Kansas City, although now my staff does it. But back then, I was the staff, and part of my job was to get the starting lineups. And the lineups usually would go to in most minor league ballparks, there's a lineup board for the fans to put in their scorecard. I had a lineup card that would go to the visiting team, the home team clubhouse. Each manager got a copy before. They do exchange lineup cards. They already had a copy beforehand. So they knew right-hander, left-hander, who was playing, what the batting order is, and all that. In this day and age, you put those online. We give them our official scores. They can put it in the scorebook, all that. So you have to have an official lineup card, or official posted lineup, and then of course, the managers exchange copies later on. Well, to get that lineup, that's what one of my jobs was, to get both our lineup and the visiting lineup. And I walked down the clubhouse, and Larry, the clubhouse manager, and really nice young man, went in there, and he's like, "Yeah, it's in there." And so I walk in there, and then the teams kind of coming and going. It's batting practice time, so some guys are going out to hit, and some of them are just relaxing or whatever. Some are getting some early work in. Well, I walk in there to Terry Francona, is the manager of the Birmingham Barons, and Terry is now the manager of the Cleveland Indians. Tito Francona, they call him, but Terry was the manager at the time of the AA White Sox, and of course on to manage the Red Sox, and again now at the Indians. Well, I walk in there, and Terry's sitting at his desk. There's an old school, it was an old kind of hand-me-down school desk, one of those kind of 70s desks that had the pull-out drawers and made a lot of noise. It was mostly aluminum drawers, kind of a faux wood top. But it was a desk for him. So every manager has an old school desk to sit by, and he's got his desk. He's got his legs propped up there, and he points, says, "Oh, it's right there." And to his left Well, I got to walk toward that left, and I didn't realize as I'm walking that I look down and there's these long legs in front of me. All I see these legs, two legs, and they were in flip flops and these sanitary shorts, the sliding shorts the baseball players wear, the tall white socks. I realized that person lounging on the floor, leaning against the wall of the manager's office was Michael Jordan. And I'm like, and I freeze. I'm like, and here I am. I'm 26, 25, something like that. I freeze. I'm like, and this is my third year in the game, second year in the game, so I'm still a pretty young whippersnapper. I freeze. I'm like, he's like, oh, it's okay. Go ahead. And I look at him and go, I want to make sure I can walk over his legs. And I look and I'm like, I'm not really sure what they're doing. And they're frantically, Tito's frantically writing something down on a piece of paper. I realize Michael Jordan and Francona are playing Yahtzee. And they got the dice out playing Yahtzee. You guys remember the game Yahtzee back in the day? They're playing Yahtzee before batting practice on a random Saturday. And I'm like, and I'm in the corner now of the office, and I got to still spin around, carry the line of card back over Michael Jordan's. Left to your righty, I said righty. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. And I walk out. That was my encounter, my first encounter with Michael Jordan when he played baseball. I was walking in the clubhouse, and not because he's sitting down on the floor in the back of the room, and I was looking. All I saw was the man. I'm a nervous kid. There's a visiting manager. I don't want to mess up, and real nervous. Anyway, the long and the short of it was, I had to cross over Michael Jordan's legs twice while he was playing Yahtzee in Jacksonville. That's my Michael Jordan story number 2 of the day, as I talk about it, the whole Michael Jordan Last Dance thing. So looking forward to seeing the rest of that. I got to Ozark season 3. I'm now to episode 10. That'll be the last one for this one. So I have to wait around, but it's got me on the edge of my seat. And then my wife and I are into season 5 of Breaking Bad, which means we're almost to Better Call Saul. So that'll begin in earnest probably over the weekend. So all good. All right, guys. Glad you're along. Friday, same time, same place. We'll do it again. We will do this virtual happy hour. We'll have hopefully more guests on Friday. Hopefully when Kevin did come on earlier, but he had to go back to grilling, and I totally get it. But on Friday, hope you guys will join me and we can chat a bit, go to the virtual green room and get you guys on. Thanks to Kaylin for coming on. My wife, I don't believe she's got dog cam right now. I don't believe she does, but if she did, I would go out there. Thank you, my wife. She's going to be jumping on me as well. I'm going to have her kind of throw out some wife topics and kind of help, because she's been popping on anyway, kind of here and there, and just have her pop on and do her own the husband and wife segment. We might take her hard-hitting marriage questions. I don't know. How do you get – the big question is, how does she stay married to me? That's probably the best question to ask, right? How does that happen? What kind of hazard pay does she have? But, of course, we'll open up our own virtual drink, and there'll be a beverage of choice or whatever it is. We'll chat a bit on Friday. Again, this is for all of us, just to kind of keep us all engaged with each other. I had the T-Bones deal at noon today. I had my Bible study this morning at 7. And just being able to chat with people in virtual land does a lot for me. And it just, me talking to you guys on a computer, it does, it's therapy for me as well. But thoughts and prayers, all those folks at the front line. We always close off with the shot of my sister who's in Denver, her greatness there. And there she is in her battle dress on the front lines of this COVID mess, and appreciate her, love, support her. Also, my sister-in-law here in Dallas is a doctor. Also, prayers and hopes and positive thoughts from both of them. Love them very, very much. So with that, have one more sip of the virtual happy hour beverage of choice. Day number 32 in the books will come your way. Day 34 on Friday. Let's put the close sign up. How about it? We'll close this thing down. Let's virtual happy hour sign first. Close this thing down. We'll see you guys on Friday. Have a great rest of your day. A great Thursday, and blessings to all. And we'll see you on Friday, everybody.